So in this set of notes, we're going to figure out what to do if we do not have that special point where the x-coordinate is 0. So we're still going to look at our ready-to-write checklist. Remember, I need those two ingredients. I need my slope and my y-intercept. So if I look at example 1, I have my slope. I can check that ingredient off. But I don't have my y-intercept this time because my x-coordinate is not 0. So if I were to graph this, it would be over 3 and up 1. It would not be on the y-axis. So the missing piece of information that's stopping me from having a complete equation is my b value. I don't have that box checked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute the m, the x, and the y into y equals mx plus b, and I'm going to solve it for b. So if I write my formula, y equals mx plus b, that means I get to change y to 1 because that's what my y number is. I can change m to 2 because that's what my slope is. I can change x to -3 because that's the x-coordinate. And the b I can't change to anything because it's unknown. And so now I'm going to solve this for b. So in order to get b by itself, I'm first going to multiply 2 times -3, which is -6. And then since b is being bothered by -6, the thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add 6 to both sides. And so this means that my b value is going to be 7. Once I have my b value, I now have my slope and my b, and so I'm going to fill my boxes. And so my equation is y equals 2x plus 7. So if you look at our next example, we'll see that we have the slope. So we have one of the two boxes that we can fill, but this point is not special because it does not have an x-coordinate of 0. So what's important is that my slope is going to be my m, -1 is going to be my x, and 3 is going to be my y. So I'm going to write my equation y equals mx plus b, and then I'm going to start to replace some items. So y can get replaced with 3, m can get replaced with -4, and x can get replaced with -1. I can't change b to anything because I don't know what it is. Now I'm going to solve for b. So -1 times -4 is +4, and then to get b by itself, b is being bothered by 4, so I'm going to minus 4 from both sides. So I end up with -1 equals b. So now I know the two ingredients. I know that b equals -1 and that the slope is -4. So this means my final equation is y equals -4x minus 1. So your next task is to try examples 3, 4, and 5. In each case, you're going to start by writing your equation y equals mx plus b. You're going to replace y with the y value of the coordinate. You're going to replace m with the slope. And you're going to replace x with the first number in the ordered pair. Then you're going to figure out what b equals, and your final equation should be the y equals mx plus b equation with the m and the b substituted in. Pause the video, press play when you're ready to check your answers. So in this first example, I replaced y with 3, m with 2, x with 6, and the b stayed as b. Then I did 2 times 6 was 12, and then to get b by itself, I subtracted 12 from both sides. 3 minus 12 was -9, so that meant my b value was -9, and I knew at the start that my slope was 2, so my final equation was y equals 2x minus 9. Here I changed y to 3, m to -2, and x to 6, b stayed b. -2 times 6 was -12, and then to get b by itself, I added 12 to both sides, making b 15. Final answer, y equals -2x plus 15. And then here I changed y to -2, m to 3, x to 1, b stayed b. 3 times 1 was 3, and to get b by itself, I minus 3 from both sides. -2 minus 3, keep change opposite, was -5. Y equals 3x minus 5. So in this next situation, if I look at examples 6, 7, and 8, I cannot check either box. I don't have the slope, and I don't have the y-intercept because neither of my points is special. So the first piece of information that's missing now that I had before was my slope, and in order to find that, I can use the subtraction fraction. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Then I'm going to substitute in, just like I just did, the m, the x, and the y, and solve for b. The only difference is that I'm able to pick which of the two ordered pairs I want to use to replace x and y with. So let's start with our subtraction fraction. So I've got xy, xy, those are my 1s, those are my 2s. So if I do that, I get 9 minus 5, 4 minus 2, 4 over 2, which is 2. So I now know that m is 2. So that has to go in for my m value. Now for my x and my y, I can pick either of my two ordered pairs. So I could choose to use 2 for x here, which would just mean I have to use 5 for y. Or I could use 4 for x, which would just mean I have to use 9 for y. Since 2, 5 is a little bit smaller, this is the ordered pair that I'm going to go with. So that means that I'm going to change y to 5. So be careful with that. Y comes first in the equation, but y comes second in the ordered pair. And then x gets changed to 2. So then I do 2 times 2 is 4. And then to get b by itself, I minus 4 from both sides, which means b equals 1. So now I know that my y-intercept is 1. I found my slope using the subtraction fraction. And so now I can do y equals 2x plus 1. At the end, I'm able to fill both boxes with my two ingredients, my slope and my y-intercept. So let's look at example 7. So my first step would be to do the subtraction fraction. This is going to find me my slope. So I've got x1, y1, x2, y2. So here I would do 3 minus 12 and 8 minus 5. And I would get negative 9 over positive 3. Keep change opposite for negative 9, and then 8 minus 5 is 3. So that means my slope is going to be negative 3. That's one of my ingredients. For my second ingredient, I'm going to do y equals mx plus b, and I could change y to 12. That just means I'm using this ordered pair here. M has to be replaced with negative 3 because that's my slope. X can get changed to 5, or has to get changed to 5 because I chose to use 12 for my y, plus b. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. And then to get b by itself, I would add 15 to both sides. So that means my b value is 27. So now I know my b value. I found my slope using subtraction fraction. And this means my equation is y equals negative 3x plus 27. So the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to try examples 8, 9, and 10. First, you're going to use the subtraction fraction to find your slope. And then you're going to replace y, m, and x. And when you pick the y and the x, you just have to pick one of your ordered pairs to find b. And then just be sure to complete the equation when you're done with the m and the b value. Pause the video, press play when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, so on example 8, I did subtraction fraction. I did negative 7 minus 9. Keep change opposite. I got negative 16. Negative 4 minus 4. Keep change opposite. I got negative 8. So that got me a slope of 2. Then I used this ordered pair because they were positive. So I changed y to 9, m to 2, and x to 4. 2 times 4 was 8. And to get b by itself, I minus 8 from both sides. And I got b equals 1. For a final answer of y equals 2x plus 1, because I found a slope of 2 and a y-intercept of 1. I'm going to jump over 9 for a second, because I think I made a mistake when I created this, but we'll talk about it. Here, I did subtraction fraction. y2 minus y1, negative 4 minus 0 was negative 4. 2 minus 3 was negative 1 for a slope of 4. Then I use this ordered pair here. Now keep in mind, this ordered pair is not special, because unlike the ones where we see the 0, 0 is not where the x is. So this is actually the x-intercept and not the y-intercept. I still used it because I like the 0, so I changed x to 3 and y to 0. 4 times 3 was 12, and to get b by itself, I minus 12 from both sides. To get negative 12 for my b value, y equals 4x minus 12. Now back to example 9. I did y2 minus y1. 9 minus 8 was 1. Then I did negative 5 minus 7. So if I do keep change opposite, that's going to get me negative 12. That means my slope is negative 1/12. So I'm sure I did something wrong here because I can't imagine we wanted to do this. But let's just go through it. So I might use this ordered pair, which means I would change y to 8. My slope is negative 1/12. And my x value is 7. And I don't know my b. So then I would multiply negative 1/12 times 7, which means I would do 7 over 1 which would get me 8 equals negative 7/12 plus b. So at this point, b is being bothered by negative 7/12, so I would add it to the other side. So now to find b, I would have to do 8 over 1 plus 7 over 12, which means I would need a common denominator of 12. So I would do times 12 times 12. This would give me 96/12. You can see why we probably didn't need this, plus 7/12. So that means my b value is 103/12. So 103/12 equals b. So that's not to say that this can't happen, but it's just very unlikely that we would have done this on the first set of notes. But in this particular case, even with the mess up, it would be y equals negative 1/12 x plus 103/12. That would be my final answer. So for 11 and 12, try these two on your own. Start by using the subtraction fraction to find the slope, and then plugging in a y and an x value from one of your ordered pairs to find the y-intercept, and then completing the equation in y equals mx plus b form. Don't worry about doing number 18. We'll do that next week. Pause the video, press play when you're ready to check your answers. So here, when you do subtraction fraction, you get negative 1 minus 5, which becomes negative 1 plus negative 5, which is negative 6. 2 minus negative 2, keep change opposite, you get 4. Negative 6/4 reduces to negative 3 over 2, because you can divide top and bottom by 2. So my slope is going to become negative 3 over 2. Then I changed y to 5, and I changed x to negative 2. So I use this ordered pair right here. Now be careful, I accidentally put m in the second spot and x in the first spot, but it won't matter because I'm multiplying. B is still b. Negative times negative is positive. My 2's cancel when I'm multiplying fractions, which leaves me with 3. Negative 2 over 1 times negative 3 over 2 is 3. To get b by itself, I minus 3 from both sides. B equals 2. So now I have my slope of negative 3/2 and my y-intercept of 2. Y equals negative 3/2 x plus 2. Here I did subtraction fraction, y2 minus y1. 6 minus 6 is 0. 5 minus 4 is 1. 0 over 1 is 0. So my slope gets replaced with 0. I use the ordered pair 4, 6. So y got changed to 6. X gets changed to 4 plus b. 0 times 4 is 0. So then 0 plus b is just b, which means b equals 6. So if I replace m and b, m with 0, b with 6, I get y equals 0x plus 6. But 0 times x is 0, and that means y just equals 6.